Hi. I think we should talk. I think we should talk very plainly and openly. I have no script on this video whatsoever. I am just going to make a statement of values and make an argument, and I hope that people will be willing to listen to my argument and consider what I have to say. Recently, I have seen a very troubling trend of people who have been watching me for a very long time falling for what I would consider a grift. Now, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I don't like grifts. You know that I don't like people selling supplements that are born out of false pretenses. I don't like anti-vaxxers trying to use pseudoscience and misinformation to get people to do things that can hurt them or their families, especially their children. I don't like these things. I don't like it when people get fooled into going against their own self-interest. And even more so, I don't like it when people bow to authority over the ideas of a cult-like mindset that ultimately is there to control them and to hurt them. And this is why I am making the argument that if you like Donald Trump at all, and I mean at all, you don't like America. Flat out. That is my argument. And I hope you will listen to it with an open mind. Now, before you click off this video, I want to make sure you understand where I come from. I don't like Democrats. I don't like them. So the initial impulse of people who usually hear the argument that there's something negative about Trump is like, well, you must be a libtard. You must be like the Democrat Party. No. I'm unfortunately one of the hardest people to have an argument about this with because I prescribe to one very basic, simple notion. I don't trust politicians. I don't like politicians. I don't think that they're good people. I think anybody who ends up wielding an extreme amount of power over other people's lives is inherently trustworthy, and they need to prove that they're not. That includes people that I actually like. I like Bernie Sanders. I really like him. I don't trust him. I don't. Even the Bernie, I don't trust him. Why? He's a politician. That means he is inherently untrustworthy. All of them. All of them. I like Bernie. I don't trust Bernie. So the idea that I would trust anybody else in the entirety of the United States government is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. My value statements do not come from my political party, whatever that's supposed to mean. My values come from basic, fundamental, personal morals, and those in how they interface with the ethics of society. Simple as. A lot of the inspiration for me even making this video, this very freeform video, is I got a message from somebody who's been watching me for a very long time. Great guy, nice dude. Talked to him many, many times through voice chat. He's been with me through thick and thin for a long time. And he sent me this message. I don't know how to tell you this, Jeff, but the man has won me over, having a hard time arguing against what he's trying to accomplish, and I genuinely believe the justice system was weaponized against him using loopholes and lies. I'm certain you'll think I suck and am unintelligent, but I just can't get behind what you're saying. Still wish you and your family all the best. I love you, buddy, and I think you're great. I think you're a great guy. I did say that you're being extremely stupid, and I believe that, but that doesn't mean that you're a stupid person. It's doing and saying stupid things does not inherently make you a bad person. I have done that myself many, many times. It does mean that I believe you're falling for something incorrect. Very incorrect. Now, we need to address a couple of things that are very important with this. What is it that Donald Trump is trying to achieve? Well, let's look at what he's done since he's gotten into office. Not what he says he wants to do. Not what he says. Because remember, we were supposed to already have our prices fixed and our lives improved. And how is that working out? Are our lives improved? Is it easier to buy a house? Is there anything he's doing to help people buy a house? Is there anything he's doing to lower the actual prices of literally anything when his tariffs are going to do the exact opposite? Is there anything he's doing to materially improve other people's lives? Anything at all that he's done since he's gotten in? The answer to that is no. No, he's not. He has not. And in fact, everything he's done has been ultimately extremely destructive. America is not your prices of eggs. America is not your secure border. It's not your civil rights. America is a very basic fundamental principle. It's called the separation of powers. That's what it is. We have a constitution that lays out exactly how we're supposed to have a separation of powers. The commander-in-chief is usually the person that's supposed to be giving out a lot of the appointees for different administrative areas, as well as being the commander-in-chief. Congress is supposed to be the power of the purse and also part of enacting new laws, the legislative branch, making legislation. And then ultimately there's the judicial branch, which is supposed to also be kind of a counter effect. Now, all three of these branches of government are supposed to basically be able to bounce off of each other and frustrate each other to keep them from doing whatever they want. This is how it was designed. That is what the Constitution is for. That's what it's for. Everything after that is extra. And it's talking about the spirit of America, which, rights and pursuit of happiness and all that and yada, yada, yada. But that is not at its core what America is. America has worked because it has a separation of powers. It has the Constitution. That's what it's for. Donald Trump does not like the Constitution. If you like Donald Trump, you do not like the Constitution. You do not like America. And if you're confused by that, it's because you don't understand what's happening. And that's okay. I'm here to help. Donald Trump right now has been sending an unelected South African weirdo billionaire Nazi dude, and it was a Nazi salute. I'm not going to argue it with you. It was a goddamn Nazi salute. Why he did it, I don't give a shit. But he did it. He has taken a bunch of dorks and barricaded themselves into various different government agency buildings to then start messing with the money. Donald Trump is not supposed to mess with the money. That is Congress. Congress is the power of the purse. He doesn't care. He goes against the spirit of the Constitution by sending somebody who's unelected and his group of weirdo dorks to go and access your Social Security, your personal information. Do you know a veteran? They're messing with the VA. Do you know somebody who works a job? They're trying to mess with the Labor Department. They're going in there and doing things without the approval of anybody else and gutting programs and slashing funds. This is anti-Constitution, anti-American activity. You cannot support this. You cannot support Donald Trump and love America. If you love Donald Trump and you make an excuse for what he's doing right now, you are making an excuse of why America, the very basic founding principles of what this country is, what it was based on, is wrong. This is before we get to anything else, before we get to immigration, before we get to civil rights, before we get to the trans spooky issue. This is a basic fundamental fact. He wants to erode birthright citizenship. You might not like that. Too bad. Part of the Constitution. He wants to shred it apart. Donald Trump does not care about the Constitution. He does not care about America. If you support him and what he does with just this, if you make one excuse for the fact that he is eroding the separation of powers in our government, you are anti-American. Full stop. Now, say you're willing to bypass that because he's doing other things that you're worried about. For instance, my friend who left this message, he did give me another reply, and he tried to explain that one of the things that he approved of was the immigration policy that Donald Trump is trying to go through and promote. The problem with this is, my friend's argument is that he believes we have to deport people because America won't be able to help anybody if the country is bankrupt because we tried to help everybody. This does not make sense. The cost of our enforcement of illegal immigration versus legal immigration or whatever is nothing by comparison to how much we spend on innumerable other things. And Donald Trump is causing tax cuts for the rich and increasing taxes on you. You. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg will pay less money. And in some instances, with our tax code, we will pay them. Our tax money will pay them. they will get money. Elon Musk already gets your money. All of his cars are subsidized by the government, which means they pay our money to Elon Musk for every electric car he sells. We give him our tax money for SpaceX. He is getting corporate welfare. Socialism. He gets our money. We are paying Elon Musk. And Trump is very happy with this. And he wants us to give more of our money to billionaires and then tell us that we can't afford the programs that we've been doing for decades. We have to slash $2 trillion out of our budget. Why? Why? So we can give it to them? None of this makes any sense. There is no fiscal responsibility in any of this. Take the tariffs. Trump puts a tariff on Mexico. He puts a tariff on Canada. They go, okay, well, we'll put tariffs on you. And he's like, well, that's not good. That's not good. Let's negotiate. You know what he got them to do? I know they sell it to you that he won, that he negotiated. They're going to send more people to the border. They're going to send more money to the border for this and for that. Do you know what they did? Nothing. Canada said, we're going to give this much money. They already were. They already were. We're going to commit this many troops. They already were. Literally nothing changed. Nothing changed. Trump put a tariff. They said, we'll put a tariff back. And he went, oh, shit. And they spun it for you to make it sound like he won. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything except throw the whole system into chaos. It's all an illusion because, keep in mind, he's a politician. He's inherently untrustworthy. They all are. Take the trans issue. Everybody wants to get all wound up. Oh, trans women in sports, trans women in sports. Ooh, we got to watch out for those trans women in sports. This is how they voodoo hypnotize you. Do you know how many collegiate level athletes there are that are competing right now? About 500,000, 500,000. Okay? Do you know how many trans people are in that field? 500,000, 500,000, 500,000. You know how many trans people? 10. 10. But they will spend millions upon millions of our money to hold hearings and investigations and shake their sabers because this is so unfair. 10 out of 500,000. You are being voodoo hypnotized. None of this is substantive. None of this is real. Right now, we have a blitz happening of all these things being thrown at us by Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all this kind of shit, all to get you so distracted, so focused on all this crazy shit they're doing. They're gutting this, they're doing that, the blah, 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 blah. We're going to buy Greenland. We're going to invade Panama. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Fucking ignore it. Ignore it. It doesn't matter. Whether you're for it or you're against it, it's a distraction. That is not important. I know some of these things are really going to emotionally impact people. I get that, especially the deportation stuff, especially trying to smash into people that are already having a hard time in their life, in society. I get that. You have to ignore it. At the fundamental beginning of the day, the one thing we cannot ignore as Americans is that the Constitution is being destroyed. It is being eroded because the fundamental principles of the Constitution are the separation of powers. Those branches of government, they have been eroded, they've been corroded, and they've been destroyed. And they're continuing to be eroded, corroded, and destroyed. And what can you do about it? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. Hate to be a doomer about it, but probably nothing. But what you can do is think. You can at least consider what exactly is happening. You can look at yourself in the mirror and ask the question, am I rooting on a reality TV show host who's a politician and for some reason I like him? What do you like about him? Why would you like a politician? He's supposed to fucking work for you. We elect them to do a job. And usually they fuck it up. Historically speaking, every politician has in some way fucked it up. Why would you worship a person like that? Why would you follow a person like that? You don't know them. They don't give a fuck about you. And I mean this with all of them. Democrats, Republicans, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a shit about you. Look at what's happening right now out there. There's these protests happening, and these Democrats are showing up to this government agency, and there's a guy in a polo shirt, doesn't even have a fucking uniform on. He's like, well, I can't let you guys in. And they're like, well, do you know we're Congress, right? We're supposed to be able to go in because we control the money for this department. Like, even the oversight committee, we're supposed to provide oversight. And he's like, well, I can't let you in. And what do? What do they fucking do? Look to the camera. See, they won't let us in. What the fuck are you doing? Is he going to stop you? Is he going to put his hands on you? Congressman, Congresswoman. There's like 20 of you and one fucking dork in a fucking polo shirt. Just go in. Just go in. Oh, but we don't want to break the rules, and we got to make sure we catch this on camera. You see how we're resisting. Fuck you. Donald Trump hates what America is. He does not believe in the Constitution. He does not believe in what this country was founded on. He wants to be a king. And if you like a king, if you want a king, I think you're a fucking cuck, okay? I think you're fucking pathetic. And if you're making excuses for what he's doing, I also think you're either woefully misinformed. And if you're not misinformed, you're a fucking coward. But then you have these performative Democrat pieces of shit who are just, well, we can't do anything. Of course you can. Go in. Go in. Just walk past him. It's easy. You just go. Do something. Well, we're going to file a lawsuit. You know, with all these people that are trying to stop Donald Trump with lawsuits, I just keep thinking to myself, and I know people hate when you do Godwin's Law, but it's a funny thing I've been thinking is like, back in the early 30s, I would have simply sued Hitler. Problem solved. So I'm very frustrated. I feel like people who otherwise are good-hearted, decent people have found a reason why they want to put on blinders and simply go for the Trump camp. I know some people who are very, strong Second Amendment kind of people. Like, I'm all about the Second Amendment. Forgetting, of course, that Donald Trump enacted the bump stock ban. They're like, well, the Democrats are going to ban my guns. When? When were they going to do that? When have they done it? When did Obama? When did Biden? That is not something you actually care about. That's an excuse for why you can be like, well, I just don't like the other side. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. We can have disagreements on policy. We can have disagreements on our own personal morals. We can disagree on how the ethics of the country are evolving or not. But we have reached a breaking point. We have reached a point where you really have to make a decision, even if you're Team Trump, whether or not you like America or not, because he does not represent America anymore. He doesn't like the Constitution. He doesn't like the separation of powers, and he wants to be a king. I don't like kings. I don't even like the government. But I'll tolerate the government over a king. So which camp do you land on? Where are we going to go from here? We've already got absolute lunatics in his cabinet positions. We're about to have RFK Jr., Captain Brainworms, one of the most noteworthy and notorious and effective, dangerously effective anti-vaxxers in the world, who already has a body count of over 82 children. We're going to have him in control of our health. And there will be people like, well, you have Trump derangement syndrome, Jeff. I have been fighting anti-vaxxers for a decade now on YouTube. For a decade. You think I would like a guy that wants to put one of the biggest anti-vaxxers on the planet in charge of my entire country's health, 320 million people's health. You think I'd be cool with that? Trump derangement syndrome. So things look pretty bleak right now because they fucking are. They're really bleak. And there's not a goddamn thing you or I can do about it. But there is one thing that you can do, and you always have had the power to do. You can mind your own mind. You can take control of your own ability to perceive things with as little bias as you possibly can muster, because we're always going to be biased in some way, shape, or form. You can, you can think about what the values are that are most important to you. Are you an American before you're a fucking Trump taint licker? Do you love America more than you love Trump? Because one of them's going to have to go. One of them is going to have to fucking go. In your mind and in your heart, you're going to have to make that decision. And we are at that point right now. Right now. It's Trump or it's America. And you're going to have to make up your goddamn mind. And I hope you do before it's too late, because it's only going to get worse. All right? It's happening now. Right now. From my family to yours, even if you are making poor decisions and are currently trapped within a cult-like mindset and cannot seem to break free, I hope you are well, and I hope your family is well. From mine to yours, take care of yourselves and each other. Stop trusting politicians. Any of them. See you guys later, okay? Bye.